Welcome to the first episode of Theology Explained. In this episode, we will be going into the various end times positions and what they are and giving a brief explanation of each one of them. In this video, we will be giving a basic overlook of the following positions: premillennialism, postmillennialism, and amillennialism. Information has been compiled from several sources, of which includes Wikipedia, 9marks, and Ligonier. I'll be including my research citations down below so that you'll be able to read the articles yourself. Starting off with premillennialism, premillennialists believe in a literal interpretation of Revelation. They also believe in a literal interpretation of the Antichrist and the tribulation, along with generally believing in an event known as the rapture, which you've probably heard of from the Left Behind series. Forms of premillennialism are pre-tribulation, which believes that there is a rapture before the tribulation takes place; mid-tribulation, which generally believes that there is a rapture in the midpoint of the tribulation during the abomination of desolation; and post-tribulation, which believes that believers will go through the entire tribulation with no rapture up until the end, when the rapture will take place. We'll be taken into heaven, given our glorified bodies, and come back to earth. There's also a pre-wrath position, which is more rare, which believes that there's like a specific time period known as the Great Wrath during the tribulation, and at that point we will be taken up and raptured before this period of Great Wrath occurs. It generally has a downward view of history, which means the earth is going to keep on getting worse and worse and worse up until the time that Christ returns. And giving a little information into the history of premillennialism, according to information I found on Wikipedia, a non-dispensational variant of premillennialism was held by 1st and 2nd century Christians such as Justin Martyr and Irenaeus. The modern dispensational variant form began in the 1800s when John Nelson Darby fell off of a horse and had what was described as a revelatory moment afterwards. Some of this is disputed, and I couldn't really find a real source over whether this is the moment that led to him forming dispensationalism as a thought process, but that's sort of what we're going with for this video. There are prominent supporters to premillennialism in both the historical and the dispensational view. Irenaeus, Justin Martyr, John Piper, and Charles Spurgeon are all supporters of the historical view of premillennialism, which typically doesn't include a rapture to my knowledge, but I can't confirm that at this moment. I'll have to do further research on that. And supporters of the dispensational view of premillennialism include John MacArthur, Tim LaHaye, and Jerry Jenkins. I found all of this information from the Wikipedia page on premillennialism if you want to read that yourself. Moving on to postmillennialism. Postmillennialism believes the church is working to bring more to Christ and grow his kingdom until the second coming, and that the church will continually grow until then. It has an upward view of history, which believes that history is getting better and better and better. It believes that most people will be saved by the time that Christ returns, and it does not believe in a literal revelation. It believes that there are many symbolic elements that have already been fulfilled in history, and that now we are in the church age seeking to bring the kingdom of Christ to earth as it is in heaven. Prominent supporters of postmillennialism are R.C. Sproul, Jonathan Edwards, John Owens, and Doug Wilson. Postmillennialism is typically the rarest form of end times theology explained in this video today, so there are not really as many prominent people that support it as there are the other positions. Finally, we have amillennialism, which is the average view of end times throughout church history for Protestants, the Orthodox, and Catholics. Amillennialists believe that the millennium is symbolic and that we are currently living in it, as Christ has already bound Satan until he returns. It has a view of history that typically is patterned after Israel, which is good times, bad times, good times, bad times, and that this cycle of history will continue on and on and on until Christ returns and the new earth and new heavens are created. Amillennialism is the position in this video that has the most prominent supporters out of all of them, and this is generally due to the fact that it is a historical position that has been held by Christians for millennia. And some of the supporters are listed below, such as St. Augustine, John Calvin, and Martin Luther, which is a generally agreed upon thing, though I could not find a specific source on whether he was actually amillennialist or not. Closing out this video, I just wanted to give you a simple overlook into each of the four major categories of end times eschatology so that you will have a better understanding of each of them in a way that is simple to understand, as sometimes it can get extremely wordy in explanation and hard to understand the individual positions from a non-biased viewpoint. In terms of sources, I referenced an article from Ligonier called Postmillennialism, an article from 9 Marks called Postmillennialism and Theonomy, and Wikipedia articles cited are John Nelson Darby, Premillennialism, Postmillennialism, and Amillennialism. I cited a Ligonier article on dispensational history also. If you would like more videos in this series or any other theological concepts that you would like to see explained, please comment them in the comments below. Thank you for watching.